Oil futures just opened up. Shit hit $111. GG. Oh, great, dude. That's great. That's fantastic. I mean, what do you say to that? Winning. So much winning. We're going to win so much. We're going to win so much. You're going to say, please, Mr. President, no more winning. And I'll tell you, we're going to keep winning. So one of the craziest parts about this is that Fox News used old footage. Does anyone have the link? Fox News used old fucking footage when showing Donald Trump at the what is it called, the ceremony, like because he was wearing a fucking hat. Fox News used different footage when covering the incident.
Your headlines: President Trump for
Oh god damn it broke again. Fuck. Oh god, I have to go pee. Dignified transfer, yeah.
Your headlines: President Trump, First Lady Melania Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, and Secretary.
Anyway, let's watch this, though. The dignified transfer and what Donald Trump. So earlier you saw Donald Trump wearing a fucking hat during the dignified transfer, which is incredibly disrespectful. I don't give a shit personally. Obviously, I'm not like a fan of this kind of military fanfare, military process. I don't give a fuck at all, right? Like, I'm just being super honest with you. I don't necessarily care. You can't make me. But Trump's base does care about that shit. As a matter of fact, I would say that they care more than even libtards do, which is precisely the reason why Fox News, knowing full well how people would react if they saw how Donald Trump
a dignified transfer.
Fucked up the dignified transfer. Notice how Trump sparks outrage on social media after wearing a baseball cap during the dignified transfer of 6 U.S. soldiers killed in the Iran war. What you're supposed to do as a civilian, you have two options. You're the commander in chief, so you can either salute, or if you are a civilian and you have a hat, you can put your hand on your heart, or you can put the hat on your heart. That's the process. Trump just kept the fucking stupid ass hat and hit the salute. Not allowed.
To honor the final homecoming of the 6 U.S. service members killed in Kuwait. The solemn ritual returns the remains of troops killed in action. It is considered one of the most somber duties of a commander-in-chief. President Trump promising the nation that they will all be remembered as heroes.
Also, he looks like shit there too, which is kind of funny. Anyway, then before you say who fucking cares, clearly Fox News does. They care about us so much that they literally put fake footage. Because Fox News knows their audience cares.
Jeffrey O'Brien.
And then, classic Fox News fashion, they come out and they later on, engage in ass covering to go, hey, sorry, we accidentally put the wrong footage up.
Adam, thank you very much. Before we move on, we want to acknowledge a mistake made earlier on our program. During our coverage of yesterday's dignified transfer, we inadvertently aired video from an older dignified transfer instead of the ceremony that took place yesterday. We deeply regret the error and extend our respect and condolences to the service members' families. We honor the sacrifice of those 6 American heroes. They are Captain Cody Cork.
Yeah, I don't think you do, though. CENTCOM out of Tampa, Fort Lauderdale, MacDill, AFB announced 7th death 2 hours ago. Yeah, I know. Another one died.
Sergeant First Class Nicola Moore, Sergeant First Class Noah T. Chens, Sergeant Declan Cody, Major Jeffrey O'Brien, and Chief Warrant Officer 3, Robert Marzon. All.
Yeah, they play this in like a random hour where no one gives a shit. And most people just saw him and were like, oh my God, my president is honoring the war dead. Is so wonderful. Fox's new dignified transfer footage completely excludes Trump.
President Trump and the First Lady joined grieving families at Dover Air Force Base yesterday to honor 6 fallen U.S. soldiers. These heroes lost their lives in a drone strike in Kuwait, marking a somber moment in the conflict with Iran. Here with the significance of the moment, wounded special...
Oh, man. Well, was he there? I can't tell. I can't see it. It's like zoomed in. It's zoomed in super close. Was Trump even there? Here's what a competent country looks like. And by that, I don't mean the United States of America. I'm talking about China. The Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi on the Iran war.
Phoenix TV. The US and Israel have again launched military strikes on Iran, and the conflict is spreading to the entire Middle East region. What is China's view on the Iran situation, and what solution does China propose?
This is an issue that everyone is concerned about. It is also the focal point in the current international situation. China's attitude is objective and impartial. We have stated our principled position on multiple occasions, which can be summarized into one key message, that is, to bring about ceasefire and end hostilities. Ancient Chinese wisdom warns that weapons are ominous tools and should not be used without discretion. Seeing the Middle East engulfed in flames, I want to say that this is a war that should not have happened. It is a war that does no one any good. The history of the Middle East tells the world time and again that force provides no solution. An armed conflict will only increase hatred and breed new crises.
China can say this all day, every day, but let's be real, okay? When push comes to shove, sometimes you got to take military action, okay? And I don't mean like on the American side. I mean like the Iranians are showing that reality. Because America is hell-bent on death and destruction around the globe. They're not going to fucking stop. Like, it is what it is. You have to provide a counterbalance. Bro, you look 2 years younger today? Really? Is it because I just changed my glasses?
Once again, China calls for an immediate stop to military operations to avoid the spiraling escalation of the situation and prevent the conflict from spilling over and spreading. China is of the view that to find the right and proper solution to the issues relating to Iran and the Middle East, the following fundamental principles must be observed. First, respecting state sovereignty. Sovereignty is the cornerstone of the current international order. We believe that the sovereignty, security, and territorial integrity of Iran and all countries in the Gulf region should be respected and must not be violated.
Why is China saying impartial actor, etc., when they're supposed to be Iran's ally? Because they're pussies.
Second, rejecting the abuse of force. Might does not make right. The law of the jungle must not return and rule the world. Willful use of force does not prove one's strengths. Civilians
You said law except Taiwan? The fuck do you mean? They don't do shit to Taiwan either. What are you talking about? They're always trade maxing. That's it. They have said more than AOC liberal. That's so funny.
innocent and should not be victimized. Third, non-interference in internal affairs. The people in the Middle East are the true master of the region. Middle Eastern affairs should be determined by regional countries independently. Plotting color revolution or seeking regime change will find no popular support. Fourth, promoting political settlement of hotspot issues. China always believes that peace is the most precious. All sides should return to the negotiating table as quickly as possible, resolve differences through equal dialogue, and make efforts for realizing common security. Fifth, major countries should play a constructive role and use their strength in goodwill.
Dude, this is the funniest chatter. Can you turn this AI? Can you turn off this AI slop narration? No. First of all, it's not even AI. It's a real human. Secondly, even if it was AI, I don't speak Chinese. The fuck? And neither does anybody else here. Like you hit the double. You hit the double where you, one, falsely claimed something was AI, and then two, got mad at like one of the only instances where like AI is kind of valid. You know what I mean?
Another ancient Chinese adage reads, "When benevolence and justice are not practiced, the position of strength shifts." Major countries should act in the spirit of justice and righteousness and contribute more positive energy to peace and development of the Middle East. As a sincere friend and strategic partner, China stands ready to work with Middle Eastern countries to implement the Global Security Initiative and restore order to the Middle East.
The reason why China is saying they're an impartial actor is because they also obviously fucking play a major trade role with Saudi Arabia and all the Gulf countries that are getting bombed right now. Even though it's the American bases that are getting bombed, they can't just be like, we love Iran. We're with you, Iran, all the way. Because they're trade maxers.
Now, we've just got some breaking news that's just come into us. Iran has named the new supreme leader. It will be Mujtaba Khamenei, the son of the slain supreme leader who was killed last Saturday in a...
That's right. The Assembly of Experts done did it again, boys. They brought in another Ayatollah Khamenei.
Israeli-US strike on the capital, Tehran. He was killed in his compound, and his son has now been named as the new supreme leader by the Council of Clerics in charge of selecting the new supreme leader. This will be the Islamic Republic's third supreme leader since it came to power in 1979. 56-year-old Mujtaba Khamenei is known to be close to the Revolutionary Guard, who were apparently pushing for him to be the front runner. He is a mid-level cleric who studied...
Now I feel like they want the names to sound so similar to confuse the West, bro. Because the first guy is Khomeini, then the second guy is Khamenei, and then now the third guy also Khamenei. It's like, bro, you couldn't throw a different name in the pile? What are we doing?
In seminaries in Qom, and for the past at least 20 years, his name has been...
Wait, the third? Like they killed two already? No. Khomeini is the first Ayatollah. At the time, Ali Khamenei is the president. Then when Khomeini passes, Ali Khamenei is selected by the council, just like this selection process took place now amongst clerics, and he is selected as the supreme leader. That's how he becomes Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Mujtaba is his son. The guy that we just killed on the first day, Ali Khamenei, has well, he has multiple kids, I think, but this is one of his kids, Mujtaba Khamenei. Mujtaba Khamenei is his son. He's also a cleric, a mid-level cleric, which, you know, kind of disrespectful. Why are you saying Khomeini, lol? Wait, what? Because the first... I'm explaining to a chatter.
Floated as the potential replacement to his father, but there was also much discussion and controversy around that because this Islamic Republic is not a hierarchical system, so there was some reservation about Mujtaba Khamenei taking over from his father, but he has now been named as the supreme leader. And in the last few days, when he was believed to be the front runner, the Israeli defense minister
I'm gonna keep it a $150. This is nepotism.
The supreme leaders, all those...
That's nepotism, straight up. I'll say it. I'll say it, bro. They gave him for the name recognition pick. That's what they
named
did.
As a potential front runner, or anyone who was named as the supreme leader would be fair game and would be targeted, and we will get much more reaction.
This is a real LeBron James Bronny situation. You know, Bronny Lakers trade. I'm calling flag on the play. We got to get the commissioner involved. Okay. Nobody's going to respect him. Everyone's going to say he's a Nepo baby. A powerful mid-ranking cleric. Damn, bro. They keep calling him mid. Mujtaba Khamenei, 56, has long opposed reformist groups advocating engagement with the West. His close ties to senior clerics in the IRGC, which dominates Iran's security forces and the economy, give him leverage across the state's political and coercive security institutions. He amassed influence under his father as a key figure within the security apparatus and the vast business empire it controls, operating for years as Ali Khamenei's gatekeeper and, in practice, a mini supreme leader, analysts say. The U.S. Treasury sanctioned Mojtaba in 2019, saying he represented the supreme leader in an official capacity despite never holding elected or formal government office. A Gulf source familiar with the regional government said, thinking of Mojtaba's appointment, this tells Trump and Washington that Iran will not back down. They will fight on until the finish. Salem of the Middle East Institute likened Iran's trajectory to Iraq under Saddam Hussein after 1991 or Syria under Bashar al-Assad after 2012. Governments that survived years of war and isolation but steadily lost control. They're doubling down on the hardline, Salem said. Internally, it's terrible and deeply destabilizing. Okay, maybe it's not so bad then, because I felt like when these guys say that the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei was a hardliner, I don't think he was. I think there are hardline in terms of what? Because they wanted to fucking negotiate with the West. Khamenei wanted to negotiate with the West. I don't think that's a controversial take at all, especially because they did allow the JCPOA to go through. They followed through on the JCPOA. They were nowhere near as aggressive as they're presented in the West. Now, his son might be different. I don't know. But this guy said, being Islam is radical. Being Islam. The IRGC pledge allegiance. Iran's Revolutionary Guard says they are ready to follow new Supreme Leader Mojtaba. A middle finger to Israel from the regime, but like his father, it will take years for him to consolidate power. For now, expect the informal council to continue running things. The president, parliamentary speaker, judiciary chief, and reps from the IRGC and regular military. Yeah, most likely. Well, we just killed his family, so maybe it might be different. I don't think these guys give a shit, bro. I think that the real pressure is going to come from within, because the IRGC has been waiting for this moment in some respects, and they cleaned up all the older ranks. Like for the longest time, I kept repeating over and over again, if you recall, that Ayatollah was the most restrained figure that we would deal with in the West. Okay, restrained to a fault. Strategic restraint was the name of the game. I think it caused Western forces to feel far more powerful. It made them think that Iran had no capabilities of withstanding American bombing campaigns. It created a sense of weakness to a fault. It is precisely the reason why the multiple decades long initiative of building a serious axis of resistance fell apart, because one of the major red lines in said axis of resistance, especially in the last decade, was that if Israel actually put boots on the ground in Gaza, that they would pummel Israel. Now look at the amount of weapons they have at their disposal right now. If Syria still existed, as it did post-October 7, and Hezbollah had not been decapitated and diminished, and the Houthis are just still the Houthis, obviously, that doesn't really change that much. And the IRGC still had its Quds forces in both Syria and also in Iraq. And they mobilized against Israel very quickly after October 7 for Israel's violation of said red lines. You'd be looking at a very different calculation in the region, which is what I think Yahya Sinwar wanted to do, right? Like that is no, that's not a lot of ifs. That was literally that's not a lot of ifs at all. That was the whole ball game. And what I'm trying to say is Iran's restraint at that time over and over again, when Israel kept violating more red lines and kept slowly but surely, alongside the United States of America, took out Iran's axis of resistance in the region piece by piece. And then Syria fell entirely. It was over. From that point on, Iran was much more diminished in its reaction or its retaliation to Israel. Trump saw the oil prices, knew Wait, Trump now says $100 barrel oil is a very small price to pay and calls anyone who disagrees a fool. Short-term oil prices, which will drop rapidly when the destruction of the Iran nuclear threat is over, is a very small price to pay for USA. Oh, they are dumb. Oh, they're stupid. Oh, they're this stupid. I can't believe it. It's unbelievable. Oh my God. He truly is JD Pond. He truly is JD Pondon. It's not even a joke. He wants the fucking suburbs to scream. He wants to kill every American treatlerite. He said permanent first world genocide. It's crazy. Nah, this is the one area where the fucking hogs and hogettes will not play around. Okay? They suck his dick on everything. This is the one area where I don't think they're gonna like that. That's why he kept saying over and over again, but the price of gas is so low. The price of gas is so low. Don't you love it, folks? Well, now the price of gas is not so low. He wants the fucking treatlerites to scream in the suburbs. Midterms over. If they even happen in November, he's a dumbass. I mean, yeah. It's an incredible thing to say that you're going to war, your sons and daughters are going to die for Israel. That's one thing. Americans are cattle. That stuff happens over there. It's not my problem, right? But it's an entirely separate thing to say you're going to pay extra. You're going to pay fucking $15. You're going to pay European style prices for oil and you're going to like it. And it's all because of Israel. I don't think the base will appreciate that. His base defends him being a pedophile. Yes, chatter, because his pedophilia doesn't touch the gas prices. So there's two areas where the base is like a little shaky. Affordability is a major issue. And Epstein files. This makes the affordability situation completely untenable. This is literally the worst argument he could present. Okay? You want to know who also presented this argument? Fucking Brandon. And at that point, it wasn't Brandon that had invaded Russia. It was Russia that had invaded Ukraine. And Brandon came out and was like, well, we got to defend Ukraine. There's going to be a price shock here, but we got to do it to defend the global order. We got to do it to defend NATO. We got to do it to defend our allies. We got to do it to, you know, engage in force projection. Donald Trump is doing the same thing, except worse. Because no one had to invade or bomb Iran. So it's literally worse than even Brandon. Fucking spectacular job, sir. Thank you. And it's not even because like Iran goaded us into it or something. It's because Israel got America to bomb Iran. Like, I can't believe it. It's unfucking believable. Holy Toledo.
In Iran. With us now, CNN Chief Data Analyst Harry Etten. Harry, what are you seeing?
Holy Toledo.
Yes, John. Look, we've gotten a bunch of polling back since the U.S. military started its most recent action against Iran. And you know what? It's a bit of a confusing picture. It doesn't seem like one at first, but it's a bit of a confusing polling picture. Let's just take a look right now at the overall average of polls. Okay, view of U.S. military action in Iran. And you take an average of CNN, Fox, Ipsos, and NBC polls. What you see here is you see that the clear majority of Americans disapprove of the action. We're talking about 51% of Americans disapprove, just 40% approve. And I should note all these polls came in between February 28th. They started on February 28th and then ended by March 3. Now, you see this 11-point split, but this actually hides some major disagreements between the different polls. Why do I say that? Take a look here. Okay, this is the net approval rating. That's the approval rating minus the disapproval rating. And this is the net approval rating for U.S. military action in Iran. Look at this. CNN, our own CNN poll, shows that the net approval rating is minus 18 points. Very similar to the Ipsos polling at minus 16 points. But then all of a sudden, you see the NBC News polling, and look at this. You see it at minus 11 points, getting a little bit more popular. And then you'll look at the latest Fox News poll, and that's a split, a dead even split at 0 points. So yes, on average, the polling is showing that the move is not popular, but that actually hides major disagreements between the polling. And I should note the polling questions pretty similar and all conducted at about the same time. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but there's another reason why, John, you should take these initial numbers with a grain of salt, because I want to go back to the June airstrikes, right? Net approval rating, U.S. military action in Iran after the June airstrikes. Initially in late June, look at this, underwater at -8 points. But by July, look at that. After the military option was deemed successful, it became much more popular. Now, we're just going to have to wait and see with this current military action in Iran how exactly the polling shifts. But right now, I would really take the numbers with a grain of salt, keeping in mind that there's big polling disagreement and the numbers may change down the road. John, back to you.
Harry, thank you very much for that. Yes, polling does often track what people think is a successful or not successful operation.
One of the more interesting splits that we're seeing in the polling when it comes to the U.S. military action in Iran is that between the
It's just carried by Republicans.
overall public and those who are either currently or have served in the military. Take a look at this Fox News poll that during the past week. Net approval rating of the current U.S. military action against Iran. Look at that. Overall, Fox News shows a dead even split. But look at those who served in the military.
What?
Significantly higher support for
Yeah, I don't give a shit, man. Who gives a fuck? What a dumbass poll this is. Who fucking cares, dude? God, also, God, fucking troops are such chuds.
the U.S. military action currently going on in Iran at plus 20 points. That should not be so much of a surprise because take a look at how they view Trump's foreign policy overall. Again, look at those who served in the U.S. military versus overall. If you look at Trump's foreign...
By the way, I think the reason why they're doing it is because they're also trying to manufacture consent. They're like, see, you dumb libtards don't want it, but the troops want it.
Policy overall, the net approval rating on that per Fox News, those who served in the military, they like what's going on average. Look at that. The net approval rating plus 8 points for Trump's foreign policy. But look at those overall. Way, way down there at minus 20 points. We're talking about a nearly 30-point gap between those who served in the military and overall. And this split, when it comes to those who served in the military and overall, dates back to Trump's elections, all the way back to 2016. But let's look at the 2024 numbers. Look at this. 2024 results. Those who served in the military, Trump won them by, get this, 31 points. Kamala Harris actually won all other voters by 2 points. And that means, Johnny Berman, that means that Donald Trump only won in 2024 because of support from those who served in the military.
Whatever happened to Trump when he ran on the campaign trail said that, you know, the whole MAGA thing, remember that? Yeah. Make America Great Again? It wasn't really supposed to be going after country after country after country. I don't recall hearing that much on the campaign trail, but just look at the number of targets.
It's unbelievable that CNN is trying to do like troop polling here because they know, like, the first 4 minutes of this 8-minute video, Harry Enten is supposed to give you analysis, and normally you would bracket it off of Democrats, Independents, and Republicans. Instead, he came in and said, oh, among non-troops, it's unpopular, but among troops, it's popular. That is fucking disgusting. And it's not even troops, it's served in the military, so I assume it just means like vets. Chuds. You want to know why they did that? Because it's actually deeply unpopular amongst the independents, it's deeply unpopular amongst the Democrats. It's only popular amongst the Republicans. So they don't want to show it like that. So they're like, well, troops like it. Oh, okay. If the troops like it, it's fine then. If veterans like it, that must mean it's good. Like the indication here is that they know better than we do. Not the average effete liberal doesn't know that war with Iran is good. So look at our fucking big, beautiful chud veterans. Unc, your eyes are closing, go to bed. I am tired as fuck. Oh, you're right, Chatter. I'm so fucking tired. I'm gonna end it here. Honestly, I'm cooked. But I'll be live tomorrow. We got Oliver Larkin coming on the broadcast. Yeah, all the way from Florida. I'll be live in LA tomorrow though. Anyway, love you guys. Another half day Hasi. Over.